Hello S3, we're going to learn about SQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language, a special language that is used to manipulate databases. Now you might remember long ago that you learned about databases where we used Microsoft Access. We're now going to use Replit and the SQL code in this Replit to manipulate a database, to create a table in a database. Here's a create table code written over here. That means we're creating a table called wizard, which will have the following fields or columns: last name, first name, and house. And all of them are going to be strings. That VAR char stands for strings with a maximum of 20 characters in each. So there's 3 columns here, and the next set of code over here, which says insert into wizard, we are going to insert code, a lot of data into the wizard table based on the last name, first name, and house. And the values that are going to be inserted as rows in the table are the following. This matches the last name of Potter, first name of Harry, house Gryffindor. So that is the code to insert the rows into a table called wizard. Then it says here there's a comment in front of the words in green here, basically are showing you that this first statement, which I delete that those 2 little dashes in front and the space, and then you see the actual code as it's supposed to be. Now the processor will run that code there. So I've now taken the comment out. If I put the 2 dashes in front of it, then it's a comment again. Comment meaning that the processor won't run it. Over here we see that we have a question 1. I'm going to have to comment that out, and I'll have to comment this out. And that means the processor won't run that, but when we run this, there I press the run button. Nothing's happening over here on the right hand side because there's no code. All we've done is now create the table, insert it into the table. But if we want to see the contents of the table, we have to write these select queries. Select meaning to display. So this first query over here says select first name from wizard. Take note, everything else has been commented out. In other words, we've removed the dashes, 2 dashes in front. I'm going to remove the 2 dashes in front of this select statement here, and now it's active. When we run the program, this instruction will be performed by the processor, so it will display the first name from the wizard table. So the basic structure of SQL code is you have select and from. In the select section, you decide what column headings you want to display. In the from part, you say which table it's going to be displayed from. So we know we have the wizard table, and we have last name, first name, and house. And in this code over here, we're just going to display the first name. So I'm going to run the code, and as you can see here on the right hand side, we'll have all the first names that are in the table. This column first name is being displayed only. So now we've looked at that, and I'll put 2 dashes in front. And now for the second one, I'm going to remove those dashes, and we'll have another query called select first name, last name from wizard. So we're going to display the first name, the last name from the wizard table. So I'll run that, and there we'll see on the right hand side first name and last name, Harry Potter, Minerva, whatever. I hope you can see that it is very small, but we will deal with that later. Right, so you'll be able to see it. Now the main thing is to know how this code here in the middle section works. So I'm going to put comments there so that when I run another query, that we'll be able to see the results of the query on the right hand side in this area here. Right, now it's describing, there's a description over here which will describe the next query, the next select statement. The below query will return the house of the person whose last name is Potter. So if we want to know the house of the person, which means we want to display the house, so we have to say select house. And now I'm going to remove the comments, There we go, the dashes, I'm removing the dashes, and it's now select house from wizard. Now we have a new code to learn where last name equals Potter, and we put Potter in single inverted commas because it's a string. So explain again. Select is the same as displaying. We want to display the house from the wizard table. Now where's the house? Here we have house column. You see the house column there? And so we're displaying the house from the wizard, and we want to see which house is Potter in. So where the last name equals Potter. So we know when we look at the code we can see it's Gryffindor, but let's just run this query and make sure it's correct. We run it and it's Gryffindor is there. I know you can't see it, but it is there. Right, so now we'll go and put comments in front of that. Go to the next one over here. The below query will return the first name and the last name of each of the members of the Slytherin house. So we want to display, in other words, they return, in other words, display the first name and the last name. So let's go and see what the query looks like. Get rid of the comments. Take note, no other query has been selected except for those over there. They are fine. So here we have this select query. It says select first name, comma, last name from wizard where house equals Slytherin. It's a bit like English, isn't it? Just we have to make sure that our syntax is correct, like, you know, the select statement, and then the first name, comma, last name. We want two things to be displayed, the first name and last name. Then from the wizard table, and where is our condition or criterion where house equals Slytherin, and Slytherin has to be spelled exactly as it is over there with a capital S. You don't actually have to worry about the capitals in these column heading names, but when you're looking for the actual data that has been inserted into the table there, you have to make sure you use a capital S, and then if it's a string you've got to put it in single inverted commas. And then after every query you'll see that there's a semicolon. You mustn't forget to put your semicolon after each select query, or after every query you'll see semicolons are there as well. There's a query, there's a semicolon and semicolon. Right, run that. Let's see. All the Slytherin house people, click the run button, and they will have the two of them are in Slytherin, and that is correct. So we put a comment now. We're going to go to question 1. Which query will return the first name and last name of each of the members of the Gryffindor house? So now you're going to return the first name and last name, so we're going to display. So we use our select statement to display first name, comma, last name from the wizard table where house equals Gryffindor in single inverted commas and a semicolon, and then we run that and we see the results. There's 4 of them there. Right, that's all for now, and we'll go and do the next one just now. And then you must submit your work and move on to task 2.